Good morning, Las Vegas. I'm Jackie Heinrich. The time is now 6 a.m. Let's take a live look outside of the Las Vegas skyline, where it is brightening up and turning out to be a scorcher this morning. Let's over to Carlo Falco with more on weather first. Hey, Carlo.
Good morning, Jackie, and good morning to you. Yeah, it is definitely going to be a scorcher, and we're nice and warm right now. So it looks beautiful out there, and it actually feels just about perfect outside. But the downside to it is that we're starting perfect, and so we're going to get very hot. It is also pretty humid out there, 38% relative humidity. That puts dew points right in that 45 to 50 degree range, which is good and sticky outside. Not quite tropical, but definitely enough for you to feel like you're wearing that air. Southwest wind about 9 miles an hour, and yeah, it's going to be another nice warm day. So for tonight, 80-degree low temperature on our way to about 106 degrees, give or take a couple degrees depending on where you are in the valley, but 101 by noon, 104 by 5 p.m. And check out those clouds in the afternoon. We could see some sprinkles. I'll have details coming up in weather first. Jackie.
Thanks, Carlo. Back to the breaking news on our roadways. A train hits a truck just off Desert Inn. The driver of that truck waking up in the hospital this morning. It all happened just before 4 o'clock. Eyewitnesses say the truck stopped on those train tracks. Those people telling Action News they tried to get the driver out of the truck. Take a listen.
I heard the horn whistle, and the engineers were going about 28 miles an hour, and they tried to honk their horn real loud, and the guy stared right at them and stayed in the car. They did not see the car until they approached him. They slammed on the brakes and drug him halfway down the track right here. I got out of my bus to see if he was okay. Still on the phone with 911. The driver walked away with some minor scratches.
Could have been much worse. Police aren't sure yet if drugs or alcohol played a role in that crash. The investigation is ongoing right now. And taking a live look right now at some of the aftermath, you can see the train. Cars are still in the middle of the road. No word on when or if they'll be moved. And that stretch of tracks will remain closed until Union Pacific can investigate what happened. And on the east side of the valley, 3 people, including a child, are shot during a house party. Police say they got a call just after midnight saying a disturbance at that party led to gunfire. 2 adults and a child were hit. All of them are in stable condition, but the child and one of those adults did need surgery. Police are still investigating a possible motive, but they say this could have been much worse.
Absolutely, it could have been worse. There was a lot of people. It was a very dense party scene. So we were lucky in the aspect that only 3 subjects were injured.
Police say the partygoers helped them track down a possible suspect. That person's identity has not yet been released. Anyone with more information should call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous if you call their hotline. Their phone number 702-385-5555. And more breaking news overnight. A vacant home near Sahara and Las Vegas Boulevard badly damaged by fire. Las Vegas Fire and Rescue haven't said how much those repairs will cost. No injuries were reported, though. And sad news for you this morning. We're finding out that a woman killed in a wreck on State Route 159 was a single mother of a 5-year-old girl. That's according to the woman's father. We were the first at the scene of the crash yesterday morning. The victim's father told us Jessica Kenny worked for the Review-Journal. She may have been delivering papers when officers say she veered off the road down a hill, rolling her car. Officers say the 34-year-old was thrown from the vehicle. She was not wearing a seatbelt. And an update now on the woman who was found dead inside a Las Vegas hotel room. The coroner says 29-year-old Jessica Weimer died of anorexia. The Alaskan woman was found in her room on the 30th floor of the MGM Signature Hotel back on May 28th. Authorities say they were called to her room when she failed to check out on time. And it's been a week, and the 2 felons who broke out of a maximum security prison are still on the run. This morning, we're learning that the prison worker accused of assisting in the jailbreak gave the men hand tools, but not power tools. And we're hearing new details about their plan for her to be the getaway driver.
They were going to meet down by the power plant, drive, I'm not going to say into the sunset because it was after midnight and it was dark out, but they were going to drive away from the area.
That woman, Joyce Mitchell, is pleading not guilty to charges of helping the felons. Investigators are still hunting for Richard Matt and David Sweat this morning. More than 800 officers are involved in that search. More than 200 people on a flight to London wound up trapped in a military barracks instead. This morning, they're all still waiting for a flight to England. It started Friday night when a United Airlines flight left Chicago for London. The plane had to make an emergency landing in Goose Bay, Canada due to mechanical troubles. But that's when the real problems began. Passengers say the flight crew left for a hotel. They were stuck at a military barracks. These photos are from inside. Passengers say they've only gotten 2 meals in 20 hours.
We have spent the last day and a half in a really traumatic manner.
United says they'll have everyone in London by Monday, and they plan to offer refunds, but many passengers say they won't be flying United again. And more than 100-degree temperatures are in store for this week, and those days aren't just unpleasant, they're also dangerous. Action News reporter Elizabeth Gadley has more on how to stay safe and beat the heat.
It's pretty hot.
And it's going to stay that way for a while. Doctors say dehydration and other heat-related illnesses can sneak up faster than people realize.
It could actually lead to heat stroke, where people basically develop seizures, they get confused, their temperature goes up to more than 104, and it can lead to end organ damage and actually death.
And all that can happen in a matter of hours. Heat-related illnesses cause the most concern, but there are plenty of other hot weather problems people should be aware of, especially for children, like contact burns.
The playground equipment gets really hot and they develop a lot of burns.
Alyssa learned that the hard way while playing at Sunset Park.
It burned my finger once I touched it.
During these hot days, doctors say parents should be especially careful at parks because this equipment can get very hot. They actually recommend that parents do touch it before letting your kids play on it.
We actually had to come back over here because it was really hot. So because the kids kept crying because the metal was really hot.
Jessica Gambora, Alyssa, and the rest of their family were throwing a party at Sunset Park. Along with staying away from the playground equipment, they had to get creative to beat the heat.
We pour water on ourselves, we pour water on everyone, and there's a water park here, so that's how we pretty much stay cold.
Doctors say another danger to be aware of comes from the hot asphalt. You can easily burn the soles of your feet.
We see it actually a lot where people, not only on the playground, but even outside, they think they can go get their mail without any shoes and then develop burns. Same thing with kids.
Elizabeth Gadley, Channel 13, Action News.
For more information on the symptoms of heat-related illnesses, just head on over to our website, KTNV.com. You can link to this story using the keyword heat. And coming up on Good Morning Las Vegas, more trouble in the skies. Find out why dozens of passengers evacuated an Allegiant Airlines flight and hung out on the wing of the plane. And a slow-speed chase you have to see to believe. Why cops wound up chasing this grandma in Washington State.
Well, it is looking very nice outside right now, but we still have the chance for a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon and evening. I'll let you know when we'll finally get rid of that shot coming up in Weather First.
Well, this picture is making the rounds on social media. Passengers on an Allegiant Airlines flight to Boise, Idaho, standing on the wing of the plane after smelling fuel and seeing smoke. But this morning, the Las Vegas-based airline says it didn't tell the passengers to evacuate, and it's creating new questions for air traffic officials. Here's ABC's Aditi Roy.
A dramatic passenger-led evacuation on the wing of this Allegiant Airlines aircraft after some on board noticed what they thought was smoke outside the plane Friday night. Jacqueline Jones was one of the passengers waiting in the terminal to board that plane.
What could you see and smell? I could smell some sort of fumes or jet fuel as it was burning my throat and nose.
A Boise airport spokesman says the vapor was from fuel, which had spilled from an auxiliary engine, and there was no fire or emergency. In a statement, Allegiant Airlines says at no time were the passengers or crew members on board the plane in danger, and that passengers initiated an evacuation over wing doors.
If you've got people opening up emergency exits and spilling off the back of the wing and you didn't order it, that's a very dangerous situation.
Just days before, another Allegiant plane made an emergency landing, and passengers were evacuated onto the airfield at the St. Petersburg Clearwater Airport in Florida after the crew reported smoke in the cabin. 4 people reported injuries. Aditi Roy, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Harper is limping off. He's going to remove him from the game.
A scary night on the diamond for the Las Vegas-based superstar Bryce Harper. The star of the Washington Nationals was hit in the knee by a pitch during last night's game against the Milwaukee Brewers. He was taken out of the game to be safe. So far, no word on if he'll be back in the lineup for the next one. He did have 2 RBIs, though, before getting hit. Ouch.
I know. It's just, that does not look like a fun way to end your night.
No, I prefer, I don't know, less risky sports like yoga.
Yoga. Or a nice movie.
Yeah,
on the couch.
Like the sport of eating popcorn.
There we go. It's a contact sport.
Exactly.
Nobody argue that one. That's a dangerous sport sometimes, especially if you get it caught on one of your teeth. Oh man. That's just... Anyways, we got to talk about the weather. Why don't we look outside, and here we go. You see those little clouds overhead? Yeah, that's an indication that we do have a little bit of activity and a little bit of energy in the mid and upper atmosphere, and that is going to really determine what happens later today. We are nice and warm, though. Summerlin starting in at 81 degrees, relative humidity at 30%. So when we mix in the moisture in the air and then the clear skies, yeah, we have the chance for some of those thunderstorms that we saw yesterday. So we're 81 in Henderson, 81 in Las Vegas as well, 79 for Boulder City, and 76 degrees for Pahrump. So we're going to be really nice and warm as we go through the rest of the day. The thing is, we do have clear skies, but little bits of clouds you can't see is picking up on a little tiny bit of indicated rainfall. This is not really rainfall. It's what we call ground clutters, little bits of birds and bugs and even treetops getting caught up by the radar. But that is an indication that we do have a little bit of instability in the atmosphere, and as we go through the rest of the day, we could see some of those clouds pop up and even some rain showers start to form. We're not going to see anything by the time we get to about 10 a.m. We're going to be into the mid-90s, lots of sunshine around, so we're hot even before we get to noon. Triple digits by noon with the possibility for some of those little puffy clouds. You remember seeing them about noon yesterday. They're going to start to form once again. Bigger clouds possible by 3 o'clock, and likely between 3 and 4 to maybe even 7 p.m. You could see some of those thunderstorms start to roll into the valley if we're very lucky. The thing that is going to be fighting against that is we are going to be seeing some drier air start to roll in. If you are going for a hike, get ready pretty much right now, because this is about as cool as it's going to get. It's pretty warm out there already, so if you're heading to the canyons, be extremely careful. 112 degrees and maybe even 115 is not out of the realm of possibility. Our monsoon tracker basically tracking all of that moisture in the atmosphere. You can see today still a decent amount of moisture in there, but watch what happens from the northwest down towards the southeast. By Monday, we're drying things out, so no shot for any thunderstorms on Monday, and even less of a shot as we get in towards Tuesday, as even more dry air moves in from the northwest. So this is what we're thinking. By about noon, 2 o'clock, you can see those clouds start to pop up over top of Las Vegas, little puffy ones, but some of them may create a small sprinkle by the time we get towards the evening hours, likely starting to dry out. But again, we could see some of those heavier bands which just continue to push in. So that being said, 106 degrees for today, sunny and hot with a stray afternoon thunderstorm possible. Think yesterday as a copy of today. So 108 on Monday. We're warming things up and completely drying things out, and we keep 108 degrees every single day all the way through Thursday before we change it up for Friday and Saturday, and then it's at 109. We're going to be breezy from Tuesday onward. Now let's take a look at Problem Solver traffic with Micah Manalo.
Good Sunday morning to you at home. I'm Micah Manalo with a look at Problem Solver traffic. Let's get you prepared for that drive up until 1 p.m. this afternoon. At the intersection of 15, 215, we have restriping going on the 15. It's a stretch from Tropicana down to Silverado Ranch. Same for northbound. On the 215 stretch is from Decatur to Warm Springs. Don't expect heavy delays. It's the weekend, plus it's going to be on the shoulder and on the median areas. At Micah Traffic Guy, the place to go for all your traffic updates and more. Follow me there on both Facebook and Twitter.
Thank you, Micah. Well, a local family is making lemonade this weekend to fight childhood cancer. Alex's Lemonade stand will be set up today. It's going on from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in front of the Weira Thai restaurant on Sahara. The goal is to raise money for the Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation, benefiting childhood cancer research. Well, Restaurant Week kicks off tomorrow, and it is your chance to grab some grub on a fixed price menu, and it's all to help 3 Square. It's called Restaurant Week, but it actually runs a little bit longer, from June 15th to June 26th. That's 11 days. It's been going on now for 9 years, and in that time, 3 Square says the event has directly paid for 2.5 million meals. Isn't that great? Well, the old Nevada State Prison could turn into a tourist attraction. A team of history buffs is hoping to turn the prison into the next Alcatraz, and a new bill could make it happen. It would designate a few spots of the prison for cultural use and eventually tours. That's still years away. The project needs funding before it can really get going. It's been closed since 2012, but before that, the prison was open for 150 years. And a Wisconsin mom had these family photos taken as a gift to her husband for Father's Day. But take a closer look. The family is dressed up like comic book characters, having some fun on the train tracks. She shared the photos online, getting more than 200,000 likes. But she says she's also getting death threats. Critics say the family was putting themselves and their baby in harm's way and promoting illegal activity.
These people were doing it in the name of advocating train safety, but putting us out there for people to almost encouraging people to come and harm us.
My main objective was just surprising Mike with a really cool photo shoot and memories that we can keep forever.
Wisconsin state law does forbid standing or walking on train tracks. The family says they had no idea. Well, check out this low-speed chase in Washington state. Authorities had to pull over this renegade senior citizen who was going 6 miles an hour on a busy freeway. Thankfully, the state trooper who was in hot pursuit was a very patient man. I love this story. ABC's Gloria Riviera has more.
Can you pull over into that little opening right there for me?
It took one very patient Washington state trooper and one silver-haired speedster zipping sweetly along at 6 miles per hour.
There's no license plate.
To turn an unusual highway confrontation endearingly sweet. Officer Dave Hintz was responding to concerned calls regarding a rogue driver.
I don't want you to get hurt out here.
This grandmother lost on her way home.
You're 4 miles this way.
Officer Hintz offering her a careful police escort, roadside assistance, and reassurance.
Just don't tip it. I'm not going to tip it.
The grandmother insisting to the end there was no need for fuss.
If you'd left me alone, I would have gotten home.
Well, no, you were going the wrong way.
Well, even then, I would have found that.
Officer Hintz said he was just doing the right thing.
I just treated her the way that I would have wanted somebody to treat my mom.
And instead of a ticket, his advice? No more driving on Route 56.
Okay, no more out on the state route.
Gloria Riviera, ABC News, Washington.
That was a DT Roy reporting. Well, straight ahead, a North Las Vegas woman recently runs into problems at the DMV after she tried to sell her deceased husband's car. Find out what happened when she turned to Contact 13 for help. Plus, we're taking you back to the scene where a train and truck collided just hours ago. This is a live look right now. They're starting to clear that truck from the scene. More details on the truck driver who witnesses say saw the train coming and never moved. You're watching Good Morning Las Vegas. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Car registration can be expensive. That's why a North Las Vegas driver says she wanted a refund after recently selling her car. But as she tells Contact 13, she was in for a surprise when she paid a visit to the DMV. Action News anchor Trisha Keene reports.
I broke the law? How?
It's the last thing Jerry Timmons expected to hear from the DMV. It all started last November when she got the $430 registration for her Cadillac SRX.
I paid it like I did every year. Never thought a thing about it.
But there was one major issue. The car was under her husband's name, and he passed away back in July of 2014. And it's illegal to register a vehicle or renew a registration under a deceased person's name.
It never dawned on me, that been married 54 years, that when my husband dies, to even think is the car in my name.
Jerry learned about her mistake last month. She went to the DMV to ask for a refund after selling her Cadillac, but she was told she wasn't eligible.
When the husband passed away, she should have either disposed of the car at that point or gotten it put into her name.
Kevin Malone with the DMV says someone in Jerry's position can fill out what's called a transfer on death application. It allows you to change the beneficiary listed on a car title. As for getting the registration refund, keep in mind the rules are different in every state.
In Nevada, you can only get refunds in very limited circumstances. The amount of the refund has to be over $100. You have to apply for it when you surrender the plates. The car has to be either disposed of or sold off.
Jerry says it's been a real learning experience and wants others to learn from her mistake.
You need to check. Right after I got home, the first thing I checked is the house in my name, but it was in both our names.
For Contact 13, I'm Trisha Keene.
Well, we are happy to report after looking into this case, Jerry does qualify and will be getting a refund according to the DMV. We have more information about vehicle registration and refunds on our website. Just go to KTNV.com and click on links under the On Air tab. Some more consumer news coming in now from California. The mayor of Los Angeles has signed the $15 minimum wage into law. LA will become the largest city in the country with a minimum wage that high. Right now, it's only $9. The raise will go into effect in phases over the next few years.
We did it because it was the right thing to do. We did it because we wanted to make their life a little better than their parents so that their children's life could be a little better than theirs.
The City Council voted by a 12-to-1 margin in favor of the increase. Seattle and San Francisco have passed similar raises. Good morning, Las Vegas. Coming up, an update on the breaking news we've been following all morning. Plus, if you saw lightning last night, you definitely weren't the only one. Find out how much rain they saw in some parts of the valley. And the latest on that shooting rampage at Dallas Police Headquarters, what the suspect's mother is saying. And don't forget, you can now watch Action News anytime, anywhere. We're streaming our newscasts at KTNV.com so you can stay informed on any computer, smartphone, or tablet. Stay with us. Right now on Good Morning Las Vegas, we're still following some breaking news just off the strip. A train hits a truck just hours ago. Cops still trying to figure out how that truck got there. And listen to that rain. Storms moved through southern Nevada overnight, and there could be some more moving through later on today. Good morning, Las Vegas. I'm Jackie Heinrich. The time is now 6:30. Let's get started with the weather first. Check with Carlo Falco. Good morning, Carlo. What's in store for us?
Well, we got ourselves a beautiful day, at least to start off. And good morning, Jackie, and to you as well. But you can see these clouds overhead. And that's an indicator of a little bit of moisture, at least in the mid and upper atmosphere. And then, of course, you look at the relative humidity at 48% at Nellis Air Force Base. That means that there's some pretty solid moisture at the lower levels of the atmosphere. And when you mix that all together with just how hot we're going to be, with temperatures like 101 by noon, yeah, we have the chance for some thunderstorms to start forming, especially in the afternoon hours. By 3 o'clock, right up to about 104 degrees, we're going to have to watch for some of those clouds to start bubbling up, and when they do bubble up, some of them might get a little bit more ambitious and might start putting down some more rain. So we're going to expect a chance for some rain showers by 5 to 7 o'clock. They're going to be very widely scattered, so there's going to be a lot of distance in between them, so not everybody's going to get them, but we'll talk more about that coming up in Weather First. Jackie.
Thank you, Carlo. Well, back to some breaking news now on our roads. A train hit a truck just off Desert Inn. That driver of the truck waking up this morning in the hospital. It happened just before 4 o'clock. Eyewitnesses say the truck was stopped on the tracks. Those people telling Action News they tried to get the driver out of the truck, and the train dragged that truck for about 50 feet. We're also told the driver was walking around after the crash. Taking a live look right now at the scene, that train still on the tracks. No word when that train will be moved. Cops aren't sure yet if drugs or alcohol played a role. The investigation is ongoing. As you can see, busy area out there this morning. You're going to want to avoid that if it is part of your commute this morning. And some new developments on that deadly shooting near Washington and D Street. Police have identified the victim as 45-year-old Jeremy Zimmerman. They're still searching for the gunman this morning. Authorities say this may be gang-related. They're looking for a full-size white pickup truck with a yellow stripe on the passenger side. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers right away. And the violent crimes continue in Las Vegas despite Metro's Season of Peace initiative. The Las Vegas area is participating in a national program aimed at bringing peace to its cities. The Season of Peace continues today, and there have already been several events across town this weekend.
We believe in volunteering. It's not just about our event, it's about what the community is doing together for us, because we're all a part of this really big family of Las Vegas.
Folks who use the help say this keeps them away from criminal activities. Metro says they're trying to build stronger relationships within the community. And turning now to Dallas and the elaborate assault on police headquarters. An intersection turned into a combat zone. We brought you this story live as it was happening on Good Morning Las Vegas yesterday. In the end, only the gunman was killed. Now the FBI is investigating. ABC's Ryan Owens has more.
An all-out assault on a major American police department. So many shots, cops first thought there might be 4 gunmen. It turns out to be a lone suspect firing at police from an armored van. Just look at all the shattered glass in the lobby of the Dallas police headquarters. And this bullet-riddled cruiser. Somehow the officer inside wasn't hit.
We believe this suspect meant to kill officers.
But police say the only one James Boulware harmed was himself. He started shooting at headquarters at 12:30 Saturday morning. He then led police on a brief chase before stopping at this Jack in the Box restaurant less than 20 miles away. For hours, the standoff drags on. 4:30 in the morning, a bomb robot picks up a suspicious package. There are pipe bombs inside. 30 minutes later, a sniper shoots out the engine block of the van, making sure it's not going anywhere. 7 minutes later, snipers fire through the windshield, killing the suspect. It took several more hours for the bomb squad to blow up the van. The suspect had bragged he rigged with explosives. Police won't say what the gunman's motive was, but his father tells ABC News the 35-year-old was furious at police after he recently lost custody of his young son.
Was he a perfect person? No, none of us are. But did he deserve to lose his son?
Investigators believe his rage reached a boiling point less than a week ago when Boulware allegedly bought that van, complete with gun slots, advertised online as a zombie apocalypse assault vehicle.
That was ABC's Ryan Owens reporting. We're also hearing from the victim's mother this morning. She says she's thankful James didn't kill any cops. In her words, this certainly looks like a very elaborate suicide by cop. And in North Carolina, tragedy at a summer camp. This morning, authorities are investigating the death of 12-year-old Bonnie Sanders. She was killed when she fell 2 stories from a zip line. Authorities are still trying to figure out what went wrong. This is the first fatality in the 55 years the camp has been operating. Well, at the start of this year, Las Vegas had its own zip line malfunction. No one died, but 2 Canadian tourists were stuck hanging about 70 feet above 4th Street. This was back in January. Firefighters were called in to get them down. Experts say there's no federal oversight of zip lines, creating self-regulation policies for that industry. And the Clark County School District has 2,600 jobs to fill by the time the school starts in August, so they've scheduled about 5 more career fairs in the next 6 days.
We are always looking for support staff, transportation, food service, IT, police.
The event gives job seekers a chance to meet with people from different departments and get help with a resume. The first career fair happened yesterday, but there are 4 more scheduled for this week. You can find dates and locations on our website, KTNV.com. And a different kind of job fair is happening this afternoon at the Plaza Hotel downtown. More than a dozen medical marijuana companies are coming together for the Las Vegas Cannabis Job Fair. It's happening from noon to 5:30 tonight. State Senator Tick Seckerbloom is expected to attend. There is no cost, but organizers say you should bring a copy of your resume. Well, good morning, Las Vegas. Coming up, an update on Rachel Dolezal, the NAACP chapter chair accused of pretending to be a black woman. What her white parents have to say about her background. And an update on the breaking news here at home. 3 shot at an East Side house party, and one of the victims is a child. We're following this one all morning long. Carlo.
Upper 70s, even some low 80s starting out the morning. That means we're going to be hot today. Just how hot? Well, I'll have details coming up in Weather First.
The Blue Man Group is known for their loud music and colorful shows, but later today the group is having a sensory-friendly performance for children with autism. They plan on reducing the sound and light levels, and their approach to the audience will be more subdued. Tickets are $36, and all of the proceeds will go to an autism nonprofit organization. Showtime's at 2 p.m. at the Monte Carlo. And coming up in a matter of hours, right here on Channel 13, Steph Curry leads the Golden State Warriors into Game 5 of the NBA Finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Golden State dominated in the fourth quarter Thursday night en route to a 103-82 victory. The series is tied at 2 right now, and Cavaliers star LeBron James says neither team has any momentum going into Game 5.
The momentum starts once the game starts, and see who can put the most possessions together, who can make the most plays, and put themselves and put their team in a position to win.
Alley-oop to James!
Tonight's game is happening in Golden State's hometown of Oakland. At our sportsbooks, the Warriors are favored by about 8 points. Our finals coverage begins at 4:30 with NBA Countdown, following a special 4 p.m. edition of Action News. The game tips off at 5, then be sure to stay with us for Action News after the game. Well, severe weather is hitting many parts of the country this morning, leaving a trail of damage behind. ABC's senior meteorologist Rob Marciano is tracking it all for us.
Upstate New York hit hard again by damaging winds. This structure overturned. In Virginia, this tree taking a direct hit.
I'm a trained weather spotter, and I came outside to find this tree struck by lightning.
That bolt peeling the bark right off. Sparking power lines in Pennsylvania. In Worth Township, one man was killed by a falling tree on Friday. And in Mississippi, this boat with 4 people on board capsizing as a thunderstorm moved right through Biloxi.
We swam to the rocks, and all these workers helped get us over the rocks.
Fortunately, they were just feet from the nearby port. Hail as big as baseballs pounding areas near Lubbock, Texas overnight.
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes of rain.
And look at this flash flooding in Southern California following a rare June rain.
That was ABC's senior meteorologist Rob Marciano reporting. As we take a live look in the sky over Las Vegas, much different story, looking like it's going to be a hot one out there, huh, Carlo?
Definitely will be.
Well, it was an even more different picture last night as lightning lit up the sky over the Strip. A few areas saw some rain, too. Carlo's joining us now with more on what's in store for us this morning. And Carlo, I am not looking forward to this heat. I have to tell you, I'm like dreading it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll admit, I'm right there with you. I mean, it's never fun when it's 105 degrees, let alone 106. How about 108?
You know, I have a horror story, a quick one. Last summer, during a live shot, my shoe, I kid you not, melted to the concrete.
I would believe that. I actually just saw something that popped up on Twitter. Make sure you keep this in mind when it comes to your pets. It can get to 161 degrees on the blacktop.
Yeah, it's dangerous stuff.
It is extremely dangerous. That'll burn your feet and, of course, your dog's feet, your cat's feet, whoever, very, very quickly. So why don't we take a look outside right now, and we can hop into things. Kind of a depressing way to start off the weather, but, you know, it's very important information. It's a little bit happier out there right now, 81 degrees, so not quite 161 on the blacktop just yet, but relative humidity at 30% means that it's a little bit on the sticky side. We do have a couple of those clouds overhead, which of course you can see behind me. You can also see temperatures into the 70s and 80s across the region. 81 in Henderson, low 70s for Good Springs, Indian Springs in the upper 70s. So we're starting warm, and we're just going to continue to be warm because it is nice and clear across the entire desert Southwest. And with that and that little bit of moisture in the atmosphere outside right now, we're going to start to see some of those clouds bubble up into the afternoon hours. You can see further to the west, though, big area of high pressure built out into the Pacific Ocean. That's going to start to roll our direction, and what that will do is that will quash any chance for us to get any thunderstorms. But that's going to wait until Monday, because by noon we're at 101 degrees. A couple of those little clouds starting to bubble up there. By 5 p.m. more of those clouds, 104 in the afternoon. That's not even our high temperature. We're expecting triple digits from pretty much noon or 11 o'clock all the way on until about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. So it's going to be hot, 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 but I can gladly say that those records are going to stay. We're not going to be anywhere near our record, so thankfully no 116 degrees coming up for the next several days. We're just going to be a nice cool 108. So definitely get to the pool if you can, and I'd say, yeah, Very rare to say this, but yeah, go ahead, splash, Mom. She'll probably enjoy it. 106 as you're out there. The UV index is extreme. So we do have the chance for a stray shower or so for today, but then high pressure is going to really clear things out. Sunshine, dry air, and very hot. Temperatures about 110 by the time we get to the end of the week, because another hotter area of high pressure is going to roll in behind it. Yeah, it gets hotter than this. So 112 for Mesquite, 111 for Laughlin, 104 in Pahrump, and 106 degrees in the city of Las Vegas. That means that we are likely going to add to Findlay Toyota's 100 degrees of summer. That's where Findlay Toyota donates $100 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Southern Nevada. And Findlay Toyota is a proud sponsor of Action News and is donating money, about $500 so far, to this community project. So we're probably going to add to that, up to $600 this afternoon. 108 for Monday, 108 on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Then we mix it up Friday, Saturday, 109 degrees. And Friday and Saturday, well, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, that's when we're watching the chance for that hotter area of high pressure to roll in from the west. So we may be talking our first 110 degree temperature as we get in towards the beginning of next weekend. In addition, look at all the wind. It is going to be very breezy out there and might feel a little bit like a hairdryer as you get through the rest of the week. All right, Jackie, to you.
Thank you, Carlo. Well, tomorrow we're going to hear from this woman, Rachel Dolezal. The woman from Washington State has become the center of controversy after her white parents called her out for identifying as a black woman on a job application. She's also the head of the Spokane NAACP. Her statement tomorrow will come at the chapter's monthly meeting. ABC's Candace Gibson has more on how this controversy got started.
The parents of Rachel Dolezal, the embattled president of Spokane's NAACP, speaking out about her race and credibility. Dolezal's white biological parents claiming their daughter has been lying for years about her ethnicity.
The deception part of it, her saying I am an African-American woman, or I am black, or I have a black father, those are the things that became very alarming because there was no basis in reality or truth.
Dolezal parents say she was born in Montana of Czech and German descent, claiming in 2007 her appearance started changing from this to a more ethnic look today. Dolezal herself identifying her race as black on an official volunteer job application. A graduate of historically black Howard University, this photo on the NAACP Facebook page of a black man she called her dad.
I do consider myself to be black, and that's because that's how I identify.
Tonight, the previous president of the Spokane NAACP is speaking out, telling me he was shocked to learn about her race.
Did you know she was white?
No.
You had no idea?
No.
The local and national NAACP are supporting their chapter president so far. They plan a meeting here at headquarters Monday evening, and this will no doubt be topic number one. Candace Gibson, ABC News, Spokane, Washington.
Turning now to our red, white, and blue 2016 political coverage. Hillary Clinton taking the stage in New York City to make a big announcement that doesn't surprise too many people. She's running for president next year.
I'm not running for some Americans, but for all Americans.
Experts say Hillary is hoping to reintroduce herself to voters following a scandal over emails sent to her personal account when she was Secretary of State. Republican candidates didn't waste any time attacking the former First Lady.
I told some reporters earlier today, I said I've answered more questions in the last 2 hours than Hillary has answered in the last 2 months.
That's former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. Despite the criticism, Clinton remains the frontrunner in the 2016 race. The most recent numbers show her as a clear favorite in a head-to-head matchup against every Republican candidate. Huckabee, meanwhile, is currently polling outside of the top 5 GOP candidates. And turning now to a Contact 13 consumer alert, more than 1 million encrypted files leaked by Edward Snowden have been unlocked by Russia and China. Those files contain sensitive details about our spy program and could jeopardize the identities of American and British spies. Spies in hostile areas have already been taken out of action. Snowden, a former NSA whistleblower, leaked secret information about U.S. spy programs and is currently living in Russia after they granted him asylum. U.S. authorities have charged him with espionage. Coming up in Now Trending, 2 girls find a legal loophole after their illegal lemonade stand was shut down, how they outsmarted the law. And hippos, tigers, and lions all on the loose on the other side of the globe. We'll tell you what happened after the break. And Action News wants to help you stay informed 24/7, so just sign up for our e-alerts at KTNV.com. Look for that icon on our homepage. We'll be right back.
Good morning, everyone. Coming up on GMA this Sunday, talk about a travel nightmare. A plane that was headed for London diverted to Canada for nearly 24 hours, and frustrated passengers complained on social media that while the crew got to sleep in a hotel, they were left to spend the night in military barracks with no heat. We'll bring you the latest on that flight this morning. And an ABC News exclusive. Two brothers of that NAACP leader accused of lying about her race speak out exclusively to ABC News. Hear what they're saying about their sister this morning. And finally, millions will be watching tonight's matchup of the Cavaliers versus the Warriors in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Can King James rally the Cavs to a victory, or will they get blown out by the Warriors again? Our TJ Holmes will be live in Oakland to give us a preview of exactly what to expect. That's all coming up on GMA this Sunday. We'll see you soon.
Zoo animals on the loose and a high-rise cleaning job. Here's a look at today's stories now trending. If you take a close look, you can see a hippo roaming in the streets in the tiny Eastern European country of Georgia. Tigers, lions, and the hippo escaped from a local zoo due to flooding last night. Some of those animals have been caught, but at this hour, zoo officials say some may still be on the loose. And this video is not for anyone with a fear of heights. A cleaning crew scaled the St. Louis Gateway Arch and took this video while they worked. The arch is the country's tallest monument, about 630 feet over downtown St. Louis. And finally, a story that's been blowing up on social media. Turns out the Texas girls who had their lemonade stands shut down by the cops found a loophole. Instead of selling lemonade, now they're giving it away and asking for donations. Their mom is proud they found a way to keep on selling.
And so I think that they're going to remember this. They'll learn, and they'll look forward in their life and say, my mother never stood for us backing down.
The girls set up the stand to help pay for a trip to the water park for Father's Day. After hearing the story, the park gave the family free passes. Isn't that nice? For more stories trending right now, head on over to our website, nowtrending.com. After the break, Carlo's back with a final check of your forecast. The time's almost 7 o'clock. We're going to take a live look outside the Las Vegas Strip. It's a beautiful morning. Stay with us.
It's going to be hot out there today. Once again, we have lots of sunshine around, but we do have the chance for a stray thunderstorm in the afternoon. 106 degrees for your high temperature and just sunny and hot winds southwest, about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. We are above 100 degrees pretty much from 11 a.m. all the way through until 8 or even 9 p.m. tonight, and it's only getting hotter from here. 108 on Monday with lots of sunshine around. The winds kick up and stay up there for Tuesday through Thursday. Temperatures 108. .106 degrees for your high temperature today. Lots of sunshine around, but a couple of those little puffy clouds could produce a thunderstorm, especially into the late afternoon and early evening. 104 by 5 p.m. Your 7-day forecast warming things up. Sunshine and 108 all week.
All right, one last check on this morning's breaking news before Good Morning America. This is a live look at the scene where a train hit a truck not far from DI in the Strip. They're still working to clear that accident scene right now. No word on when that will happen or when the nearby roads will reopen. The crash happened just before 4 o'clock. Looks like they're moving that train right now. Those eyewitnesses told the Action News that the train stopped on the tracks and the driver saw the train coming, heard the whistle blowing, but never moved. That train dragged the truck about 50 feet after the impact. We're also told the driver was walking around after the crash. No word on if alcohol or drugs played a factor. And on the east side of the valley, 3 people are shot at a house party, and one of those victims is a child. Police say they got the call just after midnight saying a disturbance at the party led to gunfire. All 3 victims in stable condition this morning, but the child and one of the adults did need surgery. Police say they've got a possible suspect in custody. No word yet on that person's identity or when they will be charged. Let's turn now to Carlo Falco for one last look at our weather this morning.
Yeah, it's going to be good and hot out there. I mean, you can see what we're expecting for today. Maybe a sprinkle or two, stray thunderstorm in the afternoon, but really what most of you are going to notice is, yeah, just how hot it's going to be. 106 degrees for today. This isn't breakdown hour by hour. You can see we're over 100 degrees pretty much from about 11 a.m. all the way through until 9 p.m. tonight, so make sure those air conditioning units are working and working well. 108 on Monday, so 106 is actually the coolest day of this week because we're at 108 for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even all the way through Thursday, and then we warm it up as we get towards Friday and Saturday. Chance for 110 coming next weekend.
All right, bottom line, stay hydrated and watch out for your pets.
And go in the pool.
All righty, thank you so much. That's all the time we have for Action News. Join us back here at 8 a.m. for another full hour of today's top stories and weather headlines.